Well, there are two different complementary things that get me excited. You have to remember that I am a professor. So the first thing that gets me excited is teaching. So that means that, I get some students who at the beginning of their careers know nothing basically about infographics and visualization, and 1 year later, 1.5 years later, they have professional level, they are able to produce professional level information graphics and visualization. So that gets me really exciting, educating people. And not only my students, teaching courses online or doing lectures, etc., all around the world. That gets me very excited. At the same time, I'm also a journalist and a designer. So whenever I have the chance to be involved into a real-world project, I try to do that, although, days are only 24 hours long, and sometimes I don't have the time to do that, but I try to be as involved as I can in real-world projects, and, doing visualization is still something very exciting for me. Yes, of course, I have a lot of different mentors and people that I have learned from. First of all, the people who helped me develop my, get the first steps in my career, the people at La Voz de Galicia, the people at El Mundo, etc. I learned a lot from all those departments, and I would not be here today if it were not for what they helped me to do. And then people, there are many people in the industry that have influenced me quite a lot. People such as Nigel Holmes, John Greenwade, who are very famous infographics designers. And today in the data visualization area, obviously the New York Times graphics desks, the people who work there are a huge influence to my own style of production and the way I teach infographics as well. I believe that the most exciting recent development in visualization is that the tools to produce visualization are growing increasingly easy to use. So it's easier than ever to start doing visualization in terms of learning the software. That's what I mean. So there are plenty of open source tools that you can use to produce visualization nowadays. You can go online and find them. You have R, you have, eye charts, you have, many eyes. There are many, not all of them are open source, obviously, but most of them are free. So you can use them for free. And that is amazing. And they are just, point and click tools. So you get a data set, you put the data set in there, and the tool gives you the alternatives or the options to represent that data set visually. So that is the most exciting thing in the field at the moment, how easy it is to get started in the field. I worked in Brazil for a couple of years as the head of multimedia and information graphics for a news organization down there, and we produced several interactive data visualizations that were quite interesting. The one that I believe that was more successful was one about how much money Brazilian congressmen and women had spent in telephone calls over a year. Brazil has a law of transparency. That means that those numbers are publicly available in the Congress website, but they are not available in a very useful format. If you want to see those numbers, you have to go to the website, look for a particular representative, look for a particular month, and look for a particular expense, and you will get that figure. But the Congress didn't develop any tool to visualize all those numbers at once, or to compare one congressman with another person, or to see the averages among the parties, etc. So what we did in that news organization, by the way, the name of that organization is Epoca Magazine, we created an interactive visualization which lets you compare all the representatives in the country, how much money they spent in telephone calls, and it was a huge, huge success. The main advice that I would give a young person today is that, first of all, it is true that tools are easier to use than ever, but the downside of that, or the other side of that, is that the concepts need still to be learned. So, using the software today is trivial, or learning visualization software today is a little bit trivial. Anybody can do that, and there are plenty of online resources that can help you learn R or Tableau or other visualization tools. There are plenty of that, but you still need to get the theory. You still need to, read the books and study the concepts, study the ideas, etc. So you have to get a very good understanding of statistics, analysis, the principles of data visualization. You need to learn a little bit about visual cognition, for instance, in order to understand how graphics should be produced. Well, I believe that the opportunity that data journalism offers today is that it can help the field move beyond the old model of he said, she said, which is what we have had in journalism for many, many years right now. People who learn about statistics, about research methods, about the scientific method in general, about visualization principles as well to display your stories, etc., will be able to move beyond that model of journalism, which is still important, obviously. You still need to talk to people, to get your information. But now you can also interrogate and ask questions to the data and to the evidence that you can find in many different sources. You will be able to analyze that evidence and extract the stories from those data and create what I like to call, or develop what I like to call, evidence-based journalism, which is what I would like to see develop in the near future, evidence-based journalism.